This is part 6 of my recap on I somehow got strong by raising my farming skills. At the end of the last episode, Al exposed Prince Netelus's evil plot and saved Phallus from getting married. But Ruri and Phallus end up fighting over him and ask him who he likes more. Al tells them there is someone else he likes, and he thinks back to a girl named Olivia. There is a flashback to 15 years ago, as we see Al's father harvesting potatoes. He becomes shocked when he sees that Al has harvested so many. Al is overjoyed, but his mother gets mad that his father is making him work. Al ends up taking some of the potatoes to give to their neighbors, but suddenly they notice a girl being chased by 2 men. The girl is a thief, and Al wonders who she is. The neighbors tell him she is an orphan that lives in the mountains, and the men want to sell her off. The girl bites the man and gets free. She runs right past, grabbing the basket of potatoes, and runs off. The girl stuffs herself with the potatoes, but Al finds her. She runs away, but notices that Al has food, and he tells her that the potatoes are better when cooked in a soup. She is scared of him, but Al leaves the soup behind, and she can't resist it. Over the next few days, Al keeps bringing her food, and eventually, she waits for him, and they have a chance to talk. She introduces herself as Olivia, and is amazed that Al grew such delicious food. Al's stomach suddenly growls, and she offers to share the sandwich. But Olivia is suddenly caught by the 2 men, and they prepare to sell her off. Al says that she has stopped stealing, but the men tell him that they need to recoup their losses. Al begs them to let her go, saying that he will pay back everything she stole. However, the men don't believe him and refuse. But Al's father appears and learns about the situation. He offers the men 3 months' worth of rice as compensation, and they happily accept and leave. Al wonders if they will be okay, but his father gets worried about what his mother will say. He suggests that they will need to cut back on food for the next few months. Olivia returns the potatoes she stole, and Al's father suggests that they could use some extra hands on the farm. Al happily agrees and invites Olivia to live with them on the farm, and she is overjoyed. 2 years later, Olivia helps out on the farm together with Al. She wants to take a break, but Al loves his farming. He tells her to play with the other kids, but she says that she only wants to be with him. Suddenly, Testa comes running, getting chased by some killer bees. But Al's mother easily fights them all off, cutting them into pieces. His mother tells him that they are headed off to the capital to look for a new house. Al thinks it's strange, because their house is just fine, but his parents tell him to look after the farm while they are away. His parents leave, and Al asks Testa why he was getting chased by the bees when there should be none in the area. Testa reveals a map, saying that there is a great treasure in the forest nearby. The forest is usually dangerous, but since all the bees are gone, Testa suggests that they can find the treasure. Al becomes convinced, and Olivia asks to come along, but Al tells her it could be dangerous, and he leaves her behind. Along the way, Al wonders why Olivia is always clinging to him, thinking that she should make friends with the other kids. Testa reveals that Olivia actually gets bullied when she is by herself. Al is shocked to hear this, and realizes this was the reason why his parents were looking for a new house. The 2 arrive at the location on the map, and they step on a stone, which opens up the mountain, and they fall inside. They have a look around, and find a tablet that they don't understand. As Al touches it, it begins to glow, and everything goes dark. An enormous beast appears, and Al gets devoured. There is a volcano eruption that rains fire down, and when Al wakes up, he sees Olivia, but he suddenly feels a sharp pain in his chest. Testa comes in, and Al wonders what happened in the forest. They go outside, and find everything destroyed and covered with ash. The bridge out of town is also destroyed, so they have no way of getting help from the capital. Food is being rationed out, but there isn't enough to go around. Al checks the farm for food, but it's all been destroyed. Al suddenly feels the pain once again, and falls to the ground, but he still worries about finding food for Olivia. Later that night, Olivia sneaks into the elder's tent to steal food, but she remembers Al begging for her second chance, and telling her that he loves seeing people enjoy his vegetables, so she manages to stop herself. The next day, Olivia combines their food, and gives it all to Al. Al asks why there is more food than normal, and she lies to him, telling him that aid arrived from the capital. Al is glad, and Olivia says she can't wait to eat the food that he will grow. In the following days, Olivia keeps giving Al her food, and eventually, she passes out while thinking of him. Al wonders where Olivia has gone, and Testa rushes in and tells Al that they found Olivia's body. Testa tells him that she's starved, but Al is confused, thinking that they got aid from the capital. Testa tells him that they haven't even heard from the capital, and Al realizes what Olivia did for him. Al cries for her and blames himself for her death. Al remembers his promise to grow vegetables for her, and he gets back to work, but that's where this video ends. If you thought maid cafes were all about girls being cute, think again. The story begins with a girl named Nagami, who aspires to become a maid. As she walks around town, she is amazed and inspired. She ends up at a pig-themed cafe called the Oinky Doink Cafe. As she enters, she is warmly greeted by a girl named Yumiki. But Nagami tells her she is actually there to start as a maid, so Yumiki calls for the manager, Yasuko. Yasuko tells her to get changed, so she heads to the back. She meets another maid named Ranko, who is also getting ready, and Nagami is stunned by her mature appearance. Nagami gets changed, and is excited to finally become a maid. She introduces herself to the others, telling them it has been her dream to become a maid. The other girl, Chiffon, is surprised that there are still people that want to become maids. Next, Ranko introduces herself. Nagami is shocked when she hears that Ranko is also a new maid, and is 35 years old. Yumiki thinks Ranko is a bit old, but Yasuko says that age is not a problem. The cafe is a bit run down, but they have a panda, which is a surprise to Nagami. It's time to get to work, and Yumiki does a great job of pleasing her clients with her charm, and Nagami wants to be just like her. Ranko serves her first customer, but looks too serious and is completely monotone. Chiffon tries to give her some pointers, but Ranko is unable to act cute. Nagami tries her best to serve the customers, but eventually messes everything up. Nagami feels bad, and apologizes to Yumiki, who had to cover for her. Suddenly a man comes in, and Nagami sees it as her chance to redeem herself. But it turns out he is not a normal customer, as he calls for the manager. The man tells her that her loans are due. Yasuko kneels and begs for more time, but the man reminds her that she is only in business because she is affiliated with the Creature Land Group, and she must pay for that right. The man tells her he will give her more time if she sends Nagami to deliver a message to the rival Moonbeam Cafe. Yasuko is reluctant, but Nagami is happy to help. Yasuko gives Nagami the letter to deliver, but Yasuko is suspiciously nervous. Ranko volunteers to accompany Nagami, and Yasuko gives them some money to get some food. They get some ramen nearby, and as they leave, the owner hands Ranko a package. The two arrive at the Moonbeam Cafe, and they are taken to the back room, where they see a girl being tortured and forced to cut off her own hair. The head maid approaches Nagami, and she hands over the letter. But the message turns out to be a declaration of war, making fun of their bunny ears. The head maid loses it, and slaps Nagami, but as she goes to slap her again, she is shot in the head by Ranko, who reveals a gun from her package. Ranko leads Nagami away, but the other maids grab their weapons and chase after them. The two get chased through the city, and Ranko gets shot in the arm, but she fights back, showing off her skills, and brutally mowing down all the other maids. Nagami watches in horror, as Ranko seemingly dances as she takes out all the maids. Nagami is left wondering what she has gotten herself into. The two make it back to the cafe, and the others are surprised they actually made it back. Yasuko tells Nagami to get cleaned up, and tells her that her room is up on the 4th floor. When she gets to her room, Nagami freaks out and wants to quit, but before she can, it turns out Ranko is sharing the room with her, so there is no escape. If you want to see the rest of the video, you can click here.